Our lifestyle in our home, we travel a lot. We've been to Iceland, we've been to France, Germany, Austria, and we had a trip planned to go to Tanzania in East Africa to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. It was on my husband's bucket list. I woke up one morning in June, and that's when I realized that I had an injury. I got up, I was getting ready for work. I could not move my right arm without excruciating pain. My shoulder hurt, it went down through my whole right side. Going to bed that night was just excruciating. So the next morning when I woke up is when I decided to call the doctor and find out what was going on. I had an MRI, and that revealed that I had a right C8 impingement from a disc protrusion. And I was nervous. I had this trip coming up that we were going to East Africa. You know, thoughts just going through my mind like, I'm not going to be able to do this with my family. The first thing was to go to physical therapy and see if that did indeed help. If it didn't, then a cortisone shot may have been in my future and/or surgery. And just the thought of having surgery on my cervical spine frightened me. I was determined that whatever I had to do to repair what I could do with physical therapy, that's what was going to happen. Country Roads is very prominent in Fairmont. I actually know the owner and went to school with him in the past, so there was no doubt that I was going to go to Country Roads. However, when I got to Country Roads, Joey Potesta ended up being my PT. And honestly, if it were not for Joey, I'm not sure that I really would have made the trip to Tanzania. There were times in there that I had shed some tears and was just worried, and he was constantly encouraging me. You know, Kristie, you're going to Africa. You're going to climb that mountain. We're doing what we have to do. I mean, he was just very adamant in his role. The first thing was like, okay, lay down. We're going to start doing some glides. I'm going to work out some of this pain. We did some exercises where he could determine what the strength was in my hand. He just went to work. The very first appointment, you know, I walked out knowing that I was at the place that I needed to be to get healed. He knew what he was doing. He is by far top-notch as a physical therapist. He gave me a book to read to help me understand anxiety and how worrying impacts your recovery. So just to go above and beyond to help ease my mind, not just doing the exercises and the traction and you know, what you have to do at physical therapy, he was concerned for me. Our trip to Africa was in early August, so toward the middle of July, I got to the point where, okay, I can do this. I am strong enough. There was no reoccurring pain. We would both just smile, and it was like high fives. I had felt better than I had felt in years. It worked. Kilimanjaro is 19,341 feet. As you're walking up the mountain, you have hours just to think, and there were several times through reflecting of how grateful I am for Country Roads Physical Therapy and Joey Potesta. We are planning to go back to East Africa. We're going to try to tackle the mountain again as a family. If you're hurt or don't feel well, please go visit Country Roads Physical Therapy.